go ahead and start, or do we wait for like a final confirmation from the back of the room real quick?
Yes, let's wait for 7. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Warm greetings to our online participants as well. Welcome to Greenergizing the Eastern Partnership Region, an event organized in the framework of the RECONOMY, Better Income and Employability in Energy Efficient Construction and Renovation in Eastern Partnership Countries project. My name is Gurgen, and I, along with my colleagues, will be moderating and facilitating today's sessions. Our goal today is to facilitate communication and the sharing of knowledge between various stakeholders and RECONOMY partners from energy efficiency, renewable energy, and construction sectors in the Eastern Partnership countries to spur market-driven solutions for inclusive systemic change. For those of you who do not know or have not heard about RECONOMY, it is an inclusive and green economic development program initiated by the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, also known as SIDA, implemented by Helvetas Swiss Intercooperation in the Eastern Partnership and the Western Balkan countries. The main goal of RECONOMY is to enable women and youth including the most disadvantaged and excluded, to benefit from economic opportunities by increasing their income and taking up decent and green jobs, inclusively and sustainably. RECONOMY places a high priority on triple dividend, or the addition of social, economic, and environmental values. We have many interesting, enlightening, and fun sessions planned for you today. We are going to hear about the better income and employability for energy efficient construction and renovation in the Eastern Partnership Region project. You're going to learn about its scope, the objectives. You'll hear a lot about the findings from research targeting the market and market-driven approaches, as well as the implementation of the competences intervention, as it has been largely under focus in the first year of the project's implementation. 3 partnerships with companies in Armenia and Georgia will be presented to you. Our partners will speak about the challenge they had identified, the company's role and function, and what systemic change they envisage to bring thanks to their activities. The aspect of regionality will also be emphasized to support the understanding of the project's unique approach. A few technical considerations before we kick off. There's live simultaneous interpretation available for you today. So please make sure that you have taken an ear set if you need interpretation. For our online participants, make sure you have selected your preferred language channel on the platform. And you're kindly requested to speak at a moderate tempo so our interpreters won't have to struggle to interpret your speech. Thank you very much. And please keep your microphones muted when you're not speaking to avoid possible interruptions. And don't forget to turn them on when you need to say something. Something really fun before we continue. You have all been given printable papers, printable cards during the registration. So they actually have wonderful symbolism. You're supposed to plant them like you would with normal plants, plant seeds. You put them in soil, water them, and over time, the seeds will sprout and grow into plants. It is actually intended to be a very pleasant reminder of the RECONOMY's inclusive and green economic development strategy. It is a special gift, so please don't lose them. I wish you all the fun and enjoyment in today's sessions. And without further ado, let us move on. And I would like to give the floor to Mr. Paulo Rodriguez, the Program Manager of RECONOMY, for his opening speech.
Thank you very much, Gürkan, for the nice introduction and for presenting so well RECONOMY. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, dear colleagues, participants online, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you today to this event of the RECONOMY program. I don't want to repeat myself too much or to repeat what Gürkan so well said, but just a few words about what is RECONOMY. RECONOMY is an inclusive economic development program of the Swedish development, International Development and Cooperation Agency that is implemented by Helvetas. Helvetas is a Swiss international NGO based in Zurich and Bern, and with over 50 years of experience in promoting international development in many countries around the world. So focusing on RECONOMY, we promote inclusive and sustainable economic development. This many times sounds like a complicated jargon, but simplified, it aims at promoting economic development that isn't economic development just for the sake of economic development, but economic development with a focus on providing opportunities, providing income to those who need it the most. In our case, we focus on youth, women, and especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds. RECONOMY aims at catalyzing large-scale change, sustainable models for large-scale change that, as I said, benefit our target group. And also, as Gürkan rightly put it, one of the key elements of RECONOMY is our regional nature. So RECONOMY works in what we consider two regions, the Western Balkans and the Eastern Partnership region. And this is not just a geographical distribution of where we work, but we aim at leveraging the synergies, the commonalities in these regions to promote the opportunities that we want to promote for women, youth, and disadvantaged groups. Talking about regionality is usually something that it's quite nice. It sounds good in a speech, and it's something that the international community likes to hear, but it's something that it's not so easily achieved. It's very hard to put in practice, and that's why I'm extremely proud of having here today organizations from Moldova, from Ukraine, from Georgia, from Armenia, obviously as well, and you're walking the talk in a way of putting this regionalization in practice. And as I said many times, it's something easily said. It's a jargon that people throw around, but you are actually operationalizing what means to be regional and to fostering regional collaboration. So I would like to congratulate you on that as well. Today's event is, I would like to see it as a platform for exchange on the topic of energy efficient construction and renovation. We also have here a variety of organizations. I mentioned the different geographic origins that these organizations have, but we also have representatives from public sector, from academia. We have representatives from the private sector. We have associations. We have civil society organizations. And this, I think, it's also quite impressive, and something that I'm proud that we can put around the same table this different variety of organizations. I think it speaks highly of the eclectic nature of RECONOMY, which is something that we are very proud about as well. Just some final words. I don't want to go on forever with this introduction, but explaining a bit what RECONOMY does. So I've told you that the objective of RECONOMY is to promote economic opportunities for youth, for women, especially those most disadvantaged. But we do this in what we call the labor market continuum. So we aim to look at it from a holistic perspective. We look at the dimension of the supply of skills, the supply of labor to the labor market. We look at the demand of labor, and we look also at the institutional framework sphere. So what does this mean? More simplified, we work with organizations that train people, that focus on strengthening the competences of youth, of women, to access the labor market in better conditions. We work with the demand side, then the people who are gonna employ this target group. We work with private sector. We work with business associations to strengthen their capacity, to help them grow their businesses, so that with that they can better employ our target group. And when I say better employ, it's also not just about the economic aspect. It's also providing better opportunities, being more mindful of the differences between people, of the different genders, of the different backgrounds of people, and being mindful of inclusivity as well. Last but not least, I think it's very important that we also work on the regulatory framework space. We work with public institutions. We work with civil society organizations that advocate, that lobby for improving institutional frameworks in a way. And with this, we aim at having the whole labor market continuum, as I said, addressed within RECONOMY. So time passes. I would like to just have some final words to say that I'm very much looking forward to the coming hours. to the rich discussions that I know are going to happen here today. Gurkan mentioned having fun as well. I think it's always important that we don't lose sight of that. So yes, let's engage in thoughtful discussions. I look forward to your feedback. I also make the appeal to the participants joining online to write their questions on the chat, to be as participative as you can. And the final word to thank you every single one of you for gracing us with your presence here today. I know that some of you came from very far away to be here today. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to the RECONOMY team as well for organizing and putting this event together. And I wish everyone a very productive and insightful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez, for your welcome speech, for the wonderful introduction. We're hereby finished with the more formal official part of the event, and I would like to give the floor to my wonderful colleagues, Ms. Mariana Avedisian and Ms. Raisa Tofan, the representatives of RECONOMY. They're going to speak more elaborately about the project, but in a non-standard interactive way. Please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you also the participants who are joining us online. I'm Mariana, as Gurgen introduced.
And I'm Raisa.
So we're going to present the project, Better Income and Employability in Energy Efficient Construction and Renovation in Eastern Partnership countries. But we're going to do it in an innovative way. So please, could you take your phones or laptop? Also, online participants, I want to see your phones.
Good, everyone does.
So we're going to play a game. Let me shift to that.
So we really wanted that this part is not boring, not with a lot of slides. So we wanted to that you know and understand what we are doing and what we are doing together actually by gaming. So we are going to play in the Mentimeter. So we have a few questions for you that are challenging questions about the sector of energy efficiency and renewables in construction itself, as well as some questions about the project that we do not expect you would know it. However, it would be a great game to just to guess and have an interactive process.
Could you please scan it, or the online participants can also join by going to www.menti.com, and then you can enter the code of 58923312. So we see 15 people joining already.
Let's
Okay,
wait
good.
a little bit more.
Yeah. Who hasn't joined? No, these are likes, yeah? Okay.
Press enter.
Okay. Okay, sorry. So we start. Are you ready? Yes, sure. Okay.
Let's move on then.
It doesn't. Wow, we have
Nice.
36 players. To keep the intrigue, let's say that the participant who wins, sorry for online participants, you can play, but the prize is for the ones who are here. So I hope someone from you will win and get the innovative and energy efficient prize. Let's start. Okay, the first question, answer fast to get more points. So with the total global carbon dioxide emissions estimated at 36 billion tons in 2023, what proportion of these emissions is it attributed to construction? You will see there the options. Please choose the right one. and be the fastest? We have some more seconds to go with.
We have likes. I see people like this question. Very good. The next ones are even more excited.
Okay, so we have 19 people who answered right to this question. So the right answer, right option was approximately 40%. The building sector, which includes energy used for construction, heating, cooling, lighting homes, businesses, anything like any building, as well as the appliances and the equipment installed in them, they account over the 1/3, even more emissions in the market. So according to the International Energy Agency data, between 2019 and 2023, total energy-related emissions increased. On a positive side, let's say that without growing deployment of 5 key clean energy technologies like solar PV, wind and nuclear power, heat pumps and electric cars, it would be much more. Okay, let's proceed to the next question.
So the next question, 34 players. Where is one of you?
2.
What is the estimated number of demanded workforce in construction in the Eastern Partnership countries by 2025? A guess.
Or maybe you have been part of the research then.
Yes. Who knows? Somebody who works with EBRD may be here.
Oh, wow.
We have many experts in the room, and
Yeah,
it's not
the same
surprising.
19 people.
Right. The right answer is around 1.5 million workers in different professions. It is a quite high number. This number was estimated by a study done by EBRD. And it is actually rooted in the many developments that the sector has witnessed, such as, for example, the deployment of renewable energy, the growth of the subsectors of renewable energy and energy efficient technologies. So these sectors have grown with 15% and respectively 20% in the last 5 years, as well as the construction sector itself, which grew with 10% per year in the last 5 years. All in all, we have also a very favorable environment for investment. More and more investors are interested to finance green building projects. More and more governments are interested to forward the reforms which are aligned with the EU standards. Therefore, it is a good tendency, and it is a good objective for us to also tackle, because it actually can fulfill the gaps on the market that we have. So we have the problems of high unemployment in our Eastern Partnership countries. We have the problem of a gender gap on the male-dominated construction sector, and these tendencies show us that it is a very favorable sector to prioritize and to move it forward. Let's go to the next question.
Oh, 25 players, 27, 8. Okay, each time we lose some participants? No, oh, great. Let's continue to the next question. So, what is the main objective of the RECONOMY project? Better income and employability and energy efficient construction and renovation. So this is about our project. Let's see how attentive you were in the market about knowing RECONOMY. We have 16 answers. I hope RECONOMY team answers to this question in the right way. Okay, we have some more people to join to the answers. And 5 more seconds. Okay, everyone has voted. Wow, 30 people answered
eight.
right. Great, wonderful. So the other, like, how many? 11 people this time answered in a better way. Okay, so why this question and what is our project about? Let's talk about it. So the project aims to facilitate better income, green and inclusive jobs for youth and women and disadvantaged people in the sector. The sector, women energy efficiency, renewable energy in construction and renovation. The project seeks to improve the performance of the energy efficient market in construction by addressing the main challenges, the gaps that drive some changes, that drive some transitions. So energy efficiency in construction and renovation was one of the 4 priority projects, one of 4 projects that RECONOMY has now in Eastern Partnership countries. As I said about the target, we have youth, women, and disadvantaged people. Why we have this target and what our project will bring, we highlighted some areas about it. So they are like, it addresses the shortage of skilled workforce in our countries. It brings diversity and innovation to the industry. It reduces the high unemployment rates in the Eastern Partnership countries. And also it brings some quality to the construction in terms of energy efficiency and renewables. Let's move to the next question. It's going to be more about the project and details, so I hope you are more attentive now. Oh, we have, yes. We missed some?
I managed to add this preliminary leaderboard ranking.
Oh, the first one is Valentina now, and you are here. Good. Okay, let's continue with the questions.
So the next question, what constraints do Eastern Partnership countries face in advancing energy efficient construction and renovation? Select all that applies. So we have shortage of skilled professionals, lack of qualified workforce. Then the second, lack of inclusive and gender responsive opportunities for youth, women, and disadvantaged. Benefits of energy efficient solution in constructions are yet misunderstood. Access to finance for doing business in the field is a problem. Mismatch between existing skills and sector needs, and insufficient industry collaboration and partnerships.
Okay, you continue voting. Okay. Is it done?
They all seem relevant, so they're changing their minds.
Yeah. Thank you for answering to this question. So, you know, all these answers applies to the constraints that we have in the market. For your information, we have conducted market system analysis in 2023, and beforehand in RECONOMY, we had a project related to energy efficiency and renewable energy, which was the piloting phase of the project. And last year, we launched the main phase of the project, and we conducted the market system analysis in all our countries. So some of you were also part of the people who were interviewed, who were involved as experts to give us some information about it. So all the answers are relevant to our markets. Based on the market system analysis, we came up with the project directions, where to go and what to address in the market, taking into account the constraints that we identified together with you. So we have 3 main focus areas, which we call interventions. So first of them is the competencies one, building skills and knowledge in energy efficiency and renewable energy in construction. The second one is about influences, advocacy, and awareness raising on the benefits of energy efficiency and renewable energy products and the career opportunities in this sector. And the third one is services, building linkages between skilled young people and potential employers in energy efficiency, renewable energy market, and facilitating alliances in this sector as well. Let's go forward. I know that we skipped one question, but we commented about it. So let's just move forward and see what is next.
Okay, we can move.
Not everyone is ready yet. It will start. Ready?
Which actor does not participate in the project's efforts to address the mismatch between educational offer and the industry demand skills? So we have as choices training providers, career orientation centers, not working, providing energy efficient products in construction, robot women, solar companies, and construction companies.
Oh, we have 23 answers. People who answered right. Yeah. Unfortunately or fortunately, we do not have robot women yet. But I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it's kind of prediction that it's going to happen. Will you tell more about it?
Yeah. All right. So, sorry. So that I was reading an article about what is the future of, and robot constructors are actually envisaged to be in the future, according to German researchers. So it says that robots can actually support with the lack of workforce that is on the market, especially with the hard construction itself. But also can address some gender mismatch, who knows. But we are not working with women definitely at the moment. This question was actually had the role of envisaging our intervention on competencies. What we are doing is in competencies, we focus on building linkages between the training providers and other actors in the sector, coming most from private. So we have companies, the construction companies, the energy efficient products, input providers. We have also the installing companies that we are trying to build the right linkage so that curriculums are driven by the market needs. So that curriculums are all the time updated according to what are the market's dynamics and developments. And at the same time that private sector is more engaged in how is the next generation to join the sustainable market of green constructions. Let's move to the next.
How does RECONOMY plan to create jobs in energy efficient construction and increase income for youth, women, and excluded? Select all that applies. We have already answers. Good, good.
So we have an option by partnering job placement providers for targeted job matchmaking, by paying companies to hire more youth women in construction, through building and strengthening, and the last one, by co-creating business support services to foster employment.
Okay, we're having answers. So 10 people think that we pay companies to hire more youth and women in the sector. It would be nice, but the project is not for that. We are using market system development approach, and we're not paying companies to hire people, but rather we facilitate linkages, and we, in the frames of services intervention, we collaborate with job matchmaking companies, job portals to have better conditions for young people, women at disadvantage wants to find job opportunities. What we do as well, besides that, we also support people to have the opportunity of starting their own business in the sector. So these are the main directions in the services intervention that we have. Thank you for answering. Let's move forward. We have 2 more questions and we will see who is the winner.
So the next question are lighter, have less time for it. Be prepared. Do you agree that reducing energy consumption in buildings comes at a high cost, as it requires expensive equipment to improve performance?
So the right answer.
Let's wait a little bit more. We have people that haven't voted, I think. Okay, let's move. So the right answer is actually no. In fact, most sorry. So we can say that energy efficiency is not an expense. It's more an investment because you invest in the beginning and it pays off in the future. Secondly, it is surprising to know that most energy efficient buildings, they do not have technology of energy efficiency. When we are talking about the energy efficiency in buildings, we are talking a lot about how the energy is managed, how this building is equipped and how this building is basically designed so that the energy stays and is not lost. So yes, we do have, we may have the necessity to invest in the beginning, but most of the times buildings can be energy efficient and we can make them energy efficient by paying attention to very small tips and tricks on how to manage the energy inside the building.
So we go to the last question. Okay, I see you are ready. Valentina is the happiest person now because she was the first one. So let's see.
Mariana, just a comment here. So this comes from our intervention on influences, actually. Influences is the intervention that we are implementing to raise the awareness about what are energy efficient technologies. Why do we need to use them? Why does the market need them in order to build green? So in this intervention, we are trying to defy the myths, the stereotypes, the many the lack of knowledge, basically, on the market that hinders the adoption of this energy efficient method, solutions, and technologies. Yeah, so that was the main aim of this question, to let us reflect a little bit of how tricky it can be sometimes, energy efficiency. People do not understand the entire benefits and how it really works.
So the last question now.
Yes, please.
What is one anticipated outcome of the project?
So we have as options: expansion of unemployment rates in targeted regions, decreasing participation of men in energy efficient construction, growing demand for energy-efficient solutions in construction, leading to green job opportunities. Building a modern, energy-efficient Tower of Babel in Eastern Partnership. Establishing collaborative networks to promote green transportation in partnership. Shouldn't be hard.
Okay, we have the option C, and 23 people were right. You know, though this is not the ultimate goal of the project, but what we do, like growing demand for energy efficient solutions in construction, is a key driver to creating green job opportunities in the market. So while it is not the ultimate goal, though what we do, it leads to the employment and leads to economic anticipation of youth, women, and disadvantaged people. With the right market actors, with the right partners, we envisage, we do some projects with and support them to unlock what is in the market and what can be in the future to have more energy efficient and renewable energy in construction. Okay, let's see who is the winner.
Let's go
Are
ahead.
you ready? I don't want to press it.
Somebody has
Okay.
drums?
Let's do it. Thank you. And who is bingo? Oh no, that is not the.
It's counting.
It's count. Who is it? Oh, Natalia. Congratulations. Okay, thank you. So who's the next one? Watson. Who is Watson? Maybe Watson is from our online participants. Who is in the, sorry? Watson? Okay, who is Isabel? Okay, we have winner
Nice.
now. So RECONOMY team gives you the prize. Please come here to take it. Can I ask you to open it so we show everyone what it is? Congratulations. So it's a light which gets energy from the sun. It's actually this way. You put on the wall, and then from here it gets like a solar panel. It gets some energy, and then here it gives you light. When we turn it off, and then okay. It gives you light. Thank you for participating. Thank you all for participating.
Sorry, technical issues. Well, thank you everyone for participating in our dynamic exercise. We really enjoyed, and we hope that you also enjoyed. In case you have questions about our project, about our interventions, as we try to be as brief as possible, please park them until the end of our session, because our session about the project has not ended yet. Also, you can find more about the project by scanning this QR code. And we are going to move on supporting you to understand and grasp what is market change for us and how are we doing it in practice. We have our lovely market experts, partners that we are working with from Eastern Partnership countries. Today we have the partners from Armenia and the partners from Georgia. Even though we have more partners, we didn't have enough time to showcase them, showcase all the projects that we are doing. Whether we wanted you to have a glimpse of how that like right now, and what has been done, and what is the systematic change that we are promoting and how we envisage it. So, Mariana,
let's invite the first one from our partners. As Raisa mentioned, they are featured partners who are going to present their projects, but we have more partners, so these are going to be just examples for you. So please welcome Heike Gitian from National Polytechnic University of Armenia to present the project. You have 5 minutes for presentation and the Q&A afterwards.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for hosting our, I don't know, for invitation. Thank you very much. It's very interesting. And about our project, we want to create the energy audit course in 2 levels for workers and for young people. And also we want to involve more youth. For that, we want to create or establish Save Energy Student Youth Center, where we want to involve youth and as well as women. Next. We did a survey, and in our country, in the region also, we have a gaps. That the big gap is educational gap, and the main idea that our education and our market is different. Like we give education, but they cannot use that knowledge for finding work or for finding high salaries. For that, we want to create that courses, and for next slide. For achieving this course, we created and started to create the round table discussions, meetings with specialists, with NGOs, with international organizations, with youth for installing, for building or creating the Save Energy Center. And also we want to create bridge with academic, private, and decision makers. It's like we want to create some platform for that, for discussion, because we need some discussion and find the issues to connect it each other. Thank you. These are about our project. We already started. We have a few meetings and everything going good. Thank you.
Maybe we can ask if someone has questions also from online participants. Yeah. We'll give you the mic.
Congratulations with very good project. Question is whether you will focus on industry or on buildings, and whether your educational curriculum will be on budget master degrees. Thank you.
Thank you for question. Our field is a buildings, and we don't want in this stage. We don't want to have the master or bachelor curricula courses. We are creating the new courses like separate for our classical education. It should be 2-month and 6-month courses for youth and for specialists who are working in this field. Any other question? Sorry. For that, we organizing the meetings, and we did already meeting with private companies, and we are going also did the next meeting in 17 in this month. And that Save Energy platform should be the area where we want to organize that meeting with youth, academic, private sector, and decision makers. And during the discussions, we hope that we can create that bridges and this connection. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you planning to create kind of database of those who pass successfully these trainings, like for the future employment, probably, I don't know? Like to create kind of database of those who already passed successfully your training, yeah? So I mean that in future, for example, I will be employer and I could look like, oh, you have these people who already passed this training, I could hire them and so on. Are you planning to do this or not?
Yeah, of course, we will. after 6 months, we hope that our course will be ready, and after that, we will like do survey how our students can achieve something, and we will write it. Of course, it's very important for us because sometimes maybe we will change any like subjects and objects in our courses. Of course, it's very important. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now that we do not have any more questions, let's invite our next participant, Mr. Georgi Abulshvili, excuse me, from the Energy Efficiency Center, Georgia. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. Hope there will be no questions on my presentation. So I will start. Our project aims to tackle the main targets RECONOMY has, but using an instrument of the existing situation on the construction market in the country that is largely determined by the legal framework and also the development of the construction sector, which is the largest contributor to the national GDP. The legal framework I mentioned is based on offering new regulated professions to the market, and this is one of those professions we are going to tackle in our project, and that's named as a building energy certifier. So till now, there were no building energy certifier in none of our markets, having a little bit understanding of the Eastern Partnership countries. But especially for those countries from the Eastern Partnership who are part of the energy community, we are already obliged to certify our buildings. Those are going to be sold out or to be rent out. And those buildings, or even parts of the building, which means apartment or office, whatever it stands for, to have a certificate, energy certificate, developed based on the professional methodology introduced by the international society and approved by the national authorities. So in Georgia, we are in the process when this okay. So in Georgia, we are in the stage when the national regulation and sub-national regulations are there. The energy certification will be mandatory from 2025, yearly 2025, and there are no energy professionals that are capable to provide these services. So we are working on creation of the professional standard, which is close to the final stage, I would say. And based on that creation of the curriculums for this particular profession, one particularity for this profession is that this profession, these certificates to be elaborated by the professional software. The good part in our case is that software is ready with support of German Development Bank. So software is ready. And it's in final stage of approval that has to be kind of approved as a only national software for the building energy certification in the country. And our project will hope by the end of the year we will produce up to 20 certifiers at least, and in partnership with three other colleagues, three other partner institutions in different areas of the country, different regions of the country, we will triple our productivity. The importance, it was underlined while we having this nice game and the questions, high emissions from the building sector, the mislinkages of the in between of the industry and the education providers. So the idea is that we as an NGO with 20 5 years of experience in this particular field, we've decided to obtain right to organize the formal education courses and issue the nationally recognized certificates for the profession. That's a little bit about the project.
Thank you very much. Let's see if we have questions. Any questions from the audience? No. Yeah.
Any question from online?
There's one question. Yep.
Yeah, I have a question regarding, you said that there is lack of women, right? And how are you going? No, I mean, definitely in the construction and project, you are going to interact and to have more women into this project involved. How are you going to do this? How you want to involve more women?
Heavy question. The nature of the profession doesn't require the skills that are generally attached to the construction professions. So this is the one kind of attractiveness, and the women could be easily capable to conduct this. It's largely a little bit about the building physics and a little bit about the digital skills using the software. So this and the women may even work from their homes if they prefer. So those are 2-3 tools we want to use for promoting our courses. And I don't know whether it will work or not, but I promise that we will make our efforts to engage them.
Thank you very much. Another question, please.
You can ask me in Armenian.
Thank you very much for your presentation and for the project. It's really interesting. You mentioned in the end that by end of the year, you are going to have around 20 certified experts. So how long is the capacity building of this program to have in the end certified experts for that? And I'm interested to know what kind of requirements you have in order to enable those people to participate in this capacity building. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Not everything 100% approved yet, but we expect that there will be courses for 48 up to 60 hours. That would be retraining courses, and the enrollment criteria would be few years of experience in construction or engineering side of construction or physics. So that's kind of, but they are not fixed yet. So they should be kind of logical thinking criteria behind of the candidates. We don't yet decided whether there would be kind of enrolling exams or that would be just based on the application based or so it's not yet decided. It's not yet decided, not because of it largely depends on the educational authorities. Hence, those courses to be a formal, nationally recognized courses. With the Ministry of Education, there is specific department who are with whom we are working, and we are going to decide together. And one kind of answer, not to your question, but given not to me, but to the previous speaker, there would be national registry for those kind of professionals, and that would be authorized by the Ministry of Economy, which is responsible for energy in our case, and any employer should go to their registry, to that registry, and invite professionals for the job.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentations, and we'll, last but not least, we'll move on to our last representative. Let's give the floor to Mr. Vahagan Nalbandian from Job AM Company.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the organizers of this event. I think it's a very good initiative, and I hope that we'll deliver all the results at the end of the project, and we'll have a great success with this. So let's move on and present what the project involves. So the goal of our project is to develop a structured network enhance our online platform that connects the individuals looking for employment in the field of green construction with the companies and organizations that require skilled workers in that sector. So the process involves identification of skill gaps and in the energy efficient sector and understanding the demands of the labor market by facilitating this matching process to offer better employment opportunities to all the youth and all the. So why we are going to do it? What's the motivating factors? There are several motivating factors. First of all, I think it's not a secret that during 2000 last year, it was the hottest year in the history of human history, and the demand for sustainable building practices to fight the climate change and reduce the carbon emissions, which is leading to increased demand in skilled workers in the sector. But there's a disconnect between the availability of the personnel and the specific needs of the employees. That is something we should address because it's leading to unfilled job vacancies and unmet potential in the labor market. So by facilitating these connections, we can grow industry more robustly and have a sustainable energy efficiency, sustainable economy. And how we are going to do it? First of all, the step is by establishing partnerships between all the parties, for example, between education institutions, training centers, and the private sector companies to match the that educational institutions are offering with the demand from the companies. Secondly, we are going to organize some career fairs and networking events that will directly connect the companies and employers with the labor market, with all participants in the labor market. Also, we're aiming to bring all the participants during these offline events to our online platform because maybe a lot of the participants lack the technical skills, like how to access the online platforms, how to build resumes, how to apply for the jobs. During these events, we are going to help the participants, like show the opportunities, and it will make the application process easier for them. Next step is like enhancing the online platforms and featuring all these job opportunities in online platforms. Also, we are our social media channels that will have an impact, and all the participants can have the opportunity to apply for the jobs. Also, we are going to simplify the application process for some kind of jobs, because there can be jobs that do not require some resumes or something. There will be some simplified application processes for the employees that they can fill some questions. So just apply for the job with few simple clicks with just filling the forms. Lastly, there is an internship and apprenticeship opportunities. We'll encourage the companies to offer some internship and apprenticeship opportunities for the potential candidates. That will be the opportunity for the youth to assess their skills, gain some knowledge, and also for the companies to understand if this person is a good match for their company, is it fit to their culture or not. And lastly, that's awareness and advocacy. We'll raise awareness about the importance of the green energy efficient buildings, like why we need it, how we are going to do it, and importance of the energy sustainability. So that's it. Thank you. If you have any questions.
Hello, thank you for presentation. I'm just wondering, do you have recruitment services? Do you have skilled professionals who can support employers to hire correct people for green sector, let's say?
Yeah, actually, we have partner companies that doing recruitment services. We are not doing recruitment services directly because we are online platform. We just provide the platform for the companies and the employees to apply to the jobs. But if the companies are interested, we are providing contacts to the recruitment agencies.
Thank you again. Who are the main stakeholders of the project, and what will be the outcomes for each stakeholders? It's a little bit bluer, the outcomes, because the other old thing that you mentioned, you can do without this project even. So what is project giving to you, and what you will give to the old stakeholders?
Yeah, specifically in the scope of this project, we are going to organize a large event that will be direct specifically to the in this sector, involve the companies in this sector. Main stakeholders will be the employees interested in the field of construction to apply to the jobs, to meet the potential employers, what jobs they are offering, what skills they need, what skills they lack. And also there will be some educational institutions also during this event, so they can also meet them and understand what courses they offer. And the other stakeholders are the companies that they are offering the jobs. As you said earlier, yes, we are doing work in this field, not for many years, but we are focusing on this sector for that event only.
Thank you very much. And I will continue with my question regarding women involvement into this. So do you have an analysis in general, like how many women applying for energy efficient construction jobs versus men? That's one question. And second one, are you planning to involve more women within your project?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I don't have specific statistics about energy efficient jobs, but I have statistics about the website usage. So the majority of users of our website, like 60% are women, like the applications. It may be because of demographics of the Armenia, because there are a lot of women in the age sector that's active in the workforce. I don't know about other countries in the Eastern Partnership. I can say for Armenia. and about giving advantage to the woman or not, we are just a platform. We are open for everyone. Everyone can apply, and the employer decides based on the resumes or based on their requirements.
So mine is not question, just some suggestions. You spoke about the simplifying the job announcement process. Here, I just wanted to suggest an option that in Armenian market, I have not noticed yet. Like we upload CVs or write motivation cover letters, etc. But we do not have the format of some video recording. Sometimes when you like put the option to share some video recording, it will be a good option for applying a job as well. And also continuing the question about women in the energy efficiency, construction, etc. I have not noticed also that in this job portals, we do not share the success stories. I suggest like in some social media portals to share also the success stories of the people who came across to that job announcement in your portal and then applied and succeeded, etc. It can concern mainly the specific like jobs that it is not common and popular here in Armenia, and it can be like somehow a good example for other people, young people, women, to follow the example and to go on that way as well. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions and the suggestions. Do we have room? One last question.
Thank you. Very good having your company in the field. A question that is based on consideration that energy efficiency professions in the constructions are largely professions for self-employers.
Mhm.
How much your platform has a capability to promote self-employed professionals? So meaning that those are journeymen, as they call themselves. So it's not the profession that not necessarily to be part of the huge company. That's a self-employed person. And how much your platform, second small question, how much your platform allows to have a reference from the previous working experience? Whether there are kind of positive feedbacks given, like we have in the booking.com for the hotels, or the similar to whether this is applied or not. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, we don't have any restrictions for the application process. Like in the application process, you can attach all the documentation that shows your skills, like your previous experiences, all that you can attach to the application and send it to the potential employee. And also, if you want to announce some job opportunity, you will list all the requirements, and you can list, for example, you need recommendation letters or something, and the applicants will attach all the recommendation letters with the application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We started the day by hearing about the project in Word. And thanks to our colleague representatives, we saw the project in action. And thank you for your presentations. Thank you for the participation. I think because of your participation, your questions, you really are fulfilling the purpose of this event, to really bring people together, as many stakeholders as we can, to really establish communication and the sharing of knowledge. So thank you for that. It is amazing how truly interdisciplinary these projects are, and how many different stakeholders they bring together, and how many different points they touch upon. So thank you for that as well. It gives us a clear vision of how you're going to proceed. And I think, as good examples of best practices, your experience, your projects can serve as prototypes for the same to be done in other countries as well. So I think with this, you can really ensure the regional impact of what you do. Next on the agenda, we have a panel discussion on the topic of Greenergizing Eastern Partnership, adoption of energy efficient technologies in construction and renovation, where we will discuss the multi-stakeholder vision of the public, private, and associative sectors of the Eastern Partnership. And we have panelists from different countries today. We're going to have Mr. Karen Asatryan, who is the General Director of Armenia Renewable Resources and Energy Efficiency Fund. Please welcome. Mrs. Nata Jaushvili, the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Georgian Dynamic Energy. Mrs. Valentina Belyakova, the President of Women's Energy Club Ukraine. And Mr. Radu Diavor, the co-manager of Zugroprim from Moldova. And the panel discussion will be chaired by Ms. Elene Tsakhlashidze. That's a very difficult last name. The operational manager of RECONOMY Helveta Swiss Intercooperation. Please welcome.
Yes, good morning to everyone. Very excited to have you all here. Very excited to have panelists here. We are having a very important discussion. And what we from RECONOMY side are very excited about is to have the representatives from different countries, because program is indeed regional. the focus is to bring region together, to understand what are the common challenges in the region and how can we address them through innovative business models, innovative technologies, and anything that we as actors can do. So I'm very happy to have here on board representatives from Moldova, from Ukraine, from Georgia, and from Armenia, very importantly, since we are in Armenia at the moment. So also the diversity of our panelists is amazing. We have the representatives from the fund, the private sector, the non-government sector that is advocating for the rights and inclusion of women in the energy efficient sector. So yeah, and we're going to have a discussion that will focus on the advocacy and policy in the energy efficient sector. We will also touch a little bit upon the adoption of modern technologies and a bit of the skill shortage with the focus on inclusion of women in the sector. But I would like to start this discussion by looking into the policy sector and understanding the perspective of all countries. But I would like to start with Armenia and address my question to Mr. Karen Asatran to understand what are the current policy developments in the energy efficient sector in construction in Armenia.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the question. I would like to mention that during the recent years, there was a huge attention to the energy efficiency and renewable energy from the government side, and the government adopted several laws and decisions that support the construction, that green construction. Also, at the same time, they are establishing a very good financial mechanism to support renewable energy and energy efficiency construction. Especially, I would like to mention that according to our legislation, if you are doing any major renovation or any construction in the public buildings or government-owned buildings or municipal buildings, you have to do energy efficiency measures. It could be renewable energy, solar, or insulations, etc. So it's mandatory. You cannot escape that part. Also, it is already mandatory in the residential sector to use insulations materials while constructing. At the same time, as I mentioned, there is a huge financial support from the government side. The government, for the moment, established and support many funds, which is provide financing for these sectors. And beside that, during the recent 2 years, the government subsidies up to 12% of interest rate for any project in this field. So if you take a loan for install solar systems, the government will subsidy up to 12% of your interest rates. So sometimes in the outside of Yerevan, you will get up to 0% for any renewable energy and energy efficiency. So I would like to mention that there is a huge support from the government. At the same time, I noticed that there are like constraints between solar or energy efficiency, but there are very interesting technologies like heat pumps or green designing or construction of buildings that is not used yet in Armenia. I would like to see that our designing of buildings is more green and used more innovative technologies to make the building green at the beginning, not just by using insulation materials, but also the building green buildings like toward the south, or using such a technologies or mechanism that will decrease the energy consumption. I see the lack of such technologies in our construction. Also, I see the lack of used technologies in construction to heat our spaces. We used to only heat our spaces by or electricity or natural gas. But using electricity, we can use different technologies, heat pump technologies, for example, to heat our spaces. Also, our fund implemented many studies which identified that questions. I mean that what I'm talking about, this is based on our studies. That's it.
Thank you very much. Like in summary, what we see in Armenia is that the energy efficient construction is mandatory. There's no other way. But also we see that there is a financial support from the government in forms of subsidies to the loans if you want to go green in the energy sector. Would anyone from our panel like to add how is it in their context countries in terms of the policy environment, any subsidies, any support from the state? Or
Yeah, I can share. As you all know, Ukraine right now is not in the best situation, unfortunately, and everyone who is working in the energy sector are just heroes right now. But even in these circumstances, we are still working on the energy efficiency, on the renewable energy projects, because we need energy. And what we have, so as you know, we have a green tariff in Ukraine. We had for the renewable projects. As well, regarding energy efficiency, we have energy efficiency fund, which is providing basically grants and loans for the homeowners associations for any actions that they want to do with regarding energy efficiency in the buildings. Also, in 2022, this fund started a new project, which is basically providing grants for reconstruction of those buildings which has been totally destroyed due to the war in Ukraine. But what we have lack, and I would say it's a huge market in Ukraine, it's everything related to the energy audits, and not only in the residential buildings, for example, or building itself, but also at the plants, at the manufacturers, you know. So this is a huge area where we could work and where we could establish cooperation, maybe. Yeah.
anyone else would like to add, or we can?
I can say a little bit about Georgia, because we do have a huge help from the government. We have funds. We have, it's called Enterprise Georgia, which gives us the ability to pay off our loans, which will be given specifically for the green energy, which is a great help. And also, the government is really just working with us, basically, to just go through about the bureaucracy and just try to actually make the projects, you know. But our main issue is the social issues, which unfortunately even the government doesn't know how to handle. Yes, they are inviting the private sectors to actually go on sites and have the discussions with the social with the population, and they need our help, and we're just really hands-on to have the informative talks with the socials, because we do not have that issue as to the government not helping us or us not having the accessibility to the funds. But most of the projects which are not being carried out in Georgia is because of the tremendous social issues that we have.
Thank you very much for this intervention. I guess indeed we have an issue with the energy audits in Ukraine. We have a social pressure in Georgia, and we heard also from Armenia that there are some modern technologies that are still that still need to be in place. And my next question would be is how would you see the role of various organizations that can advocate for the changes on the policy level to come into place to maybe address those issues that are still open and pending? And I would like to address this question again to Mr. Asatran and Ms. Valentina Belyakova and any other participant who would like to add then later.
Thank you. Very important question. I would like your organization with us to pay more attention or advocacy awareness raising campaign between our employers, also construction companies and government-based organizations as well. And I would like you to share your experience, how you deal with that, with such an issue, with energy efficiency and renewable energy. And I know that Sweden and Switzerland is a very not cold countries, that's similar to our country. And I would like to know how you are using renewable energy and energy efficiency. And I would like to more you to concentrate on awareness raising campaign. And also, I would like to know your experience countries in promoting how the government organizations advocate or implement policies in these fields.
Thank you very much. I guess we as an organization can note that the experience from Sweden and Switzerland will also be interesting for the region in terms of understanding how the transition has taken place in developed countries as well. So please.
Yeah, I would fully support. I would fully support what was said already. But yes, number one is advocacy regarding the legislation, I believe. Yeah, because we also everyone need to share their experience, you know, and maybe someone will find something that could be implemented in their countries. Second is awareness campaigns, and for example, with energy audits, we need definitely just to explain people why do they need it and what it will bring to them at the end, and what energy efficient measures will give them at the end. Even no matter that maybe they are thinking that their first investments will be huge ones, yeah, but they need to understand the outcomes of this. And also, I believe it will be great to have kind of site tours. For example, I don't know, Ukrainian companies go into Armenia together, not just companies, I mean, but also government representatives and so on, to see like what you did, your successful stories, as well as to share our successful stories and so on, not only Armenia, Georgia, everyone else. I mean, because when you see yourself, like how it has been done and what you can do in order to, or maybe to also organize some events by involving different parties from different countries, as well as the one I'm doing right now, but having more discussion regarding what should be done. Also involving local communities, I believe it's very important, because local communities can also provide you some ideas like what kind of projects they need exactly at their communities, what are the specific requirements, or for example, they have some people with inclusivity there that you need to think about by doing any energy efficient construction there. Thank you.
Basically, the high focus would be on raising awareness in the communities, and from the point of view of RECONOMY, I guess we should continue working with the organizations that have an influence, because as it was also mentioned in the morning session, we as a project facilitate the networks, partnerships, linkages in the market system, and try to work with the organizations that are close then to communities and can promote the adoption, innovation, and changes. Thank you very much for your observations and recommendations. We would like now to move towards then the adoption of the modern technologies. We know that there is way to go, but we still have some of the examples of being implemented in our countries. And I would like to ask Ms. Nata Joshvili and Mr. Radu from Moldova about how is it, like, what are the major challenges in introducing the modern technologies and how you did it, like what you did.
Okay, so we pointed for bottlenecks, for problems. First of all is the awareness and the problem of in education, especially. By education, I mean education of the government, first of all. The second of all is the education of the industry, because in Moldova especially, the architects and the project manager usually are from post-Soviet era, and they're working and still develop and try to push more of the old technologies. And the third problem of education is the
universities and colleges because they don't have the books, the people, even the teachers to which should know or should develop more the new technologies. Second point is the cost of the new technologies because usually the business and the high-end consumer, they taking one point that we're regional, we're not the most rich country in the region. Everybody's putting a very big point on the cost of the building. And by trying to use the new technologies, the initial investment should be much more, let's say, should be, if it were in a perfect world, should be much more cheaper. That's in a problem. And the third issue is the I could say the problem with students because we have a lack of in every industry, but especially in construction, we do not have enough students. And first of all, and second of all, we do not have qualified students. So we need to put more accent on educating this domain, especially and the last problem which we see is the problem is the government is having some problems with the laws. So we need more laws which can encourage more energy efficient technologies and more funding in these new technologies.
So basically would say that there must be a bit more pressure on introducing energy efficient solutions, but also attraction of investment, that technologies are also affordable.
Yes, and this could be done in the private sector also, but more easy in the governmental buildings like hospitals, schools, kindergartens.
Thank you very much.
Just to quickly say about my company, for you to understand exactly where I'm coming from. The company builds power and transmission lines and substations throughout Georgia for over the past of 7 years. What we did was we have participated in the country's biggest power transmission line and substation projects, and we are currently starting the project to connect Georgia to Armenia, which is going to be a 500 kV power transmission line, which is an amazing project that's going to connect these two countries. And yeah, it has a lot of benefits for sure. As Mr. said, the bottlenecks that we have overpassed and still trying to pass and have not passed. The number one thing which he mentioned that is correct, because the countries and Eastern countries, we deal with post-Soviet people basically that are in the management still, and they go about what they have learned, what know that works, and somehow are very skeptical into new things. The same goes for the society, as I said, but that is pretty self-explanatory. Now, what happens is that we did not have that hard time to educate the government because the government is very modernized these days. They actually know what's happening, what are the developments happening in the world, and they do want to implement everything new in the Georgia. But the specialists and the socials are not I'm sorry, are not following sorry, are not following the government. That's why I said that they need the business sector to step in and actually deal with that and try to find ways to overcome. The Georgia, unfortunately, recently we have passed a threshold that we are not as poor as we actually are in the eyes of the world, but we're not rich. So Yes, that is true. Because we are poor, but we're not considered as poor anymore. So that also is a disadvantage in terms of the funds, because they believe that funds should go mainly to the lower developing countries, and somehow it passes us. So what we need to do is that we need to attract, and we need to make them see that this country needs development and it needs a lot of funds. And actually it goes about on the shoulders of the business itself. So we have to deal with the socials, we have to deal with the investment. The government understands and knows and is helping us to do it, but at the end of the day, it is on our hands. So this is the situation currently in Georgia.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, I would like to hear more about how can then energy efficient technologies be better promoted. And we already heard that maybe there must be a little bit more pressure on introducing the technologies from the government point of view, like in terms of policies. We have also heard that investment needs to be attracted. And then the private sector can play a role, but maybe you can like expand a little bit more on what kind of an investment from where, because at the end of the day, yes, it goes on the business shoulders, but then business makes money and profits, and the energy sector is profitable, I guess. So
It is the sector that I believe and that Georgia believes that Georgia basically stands on, because we export most of the energy that we have, and then we kind of import what we need. That's up for a question and a debate for another day. But so what basically what we're trying to do is that we are on the daily basis, basically, when we need on this specific, I'm going to talk about what we are trying to do. We are trying to build the floating solar panels, first ever in Georgia. And we are trying to do three projects at the same time. The projects are not big in the eyes of the world, but it is big for Georgia for sure. And those three are considered to be the pilot projects. The investment that we are looking at right now, and we as a company are dealing that as personally ourselves at our own expense, that is about, we're planning to do 3 megawatt, which is approximately 3 million USD for one project specifically. So we have went to the banks. Now for the Georgian banks, this is a good amount, and for them this is interesting. Now when you want to increase from 3 to, let's say, 20, because for European Investment Bank, 3 million is a joke. They would not even consider. They were like, once you go from 3 to 20, you come to me for the investment, because 20 million is something that I'm interested in, because they are thinking of the return on the investment and what return is 3 megawatt is going to have for them over the course of 10 years. That is a very minimal. So in that terms, they're not interested. So what we are left with is that we go to the local banks, we contact them, we involve the enterprise, as I said, for them to cover the part of the investment. We do not have 12%. We only have the maximum of 8%. But we are happy with 8. It's still better than nothing. It doesn't go on our shoulders that much because, as I said, aside from that, we actually have to do the work to make it happen, not only to construct, but actually get the project through. And one of the main things is that the Georgia has the precedence that if the population does not agree, and if the population declines, then the project is not being carried out, which is incredibly crucial to the business, because there's some things that people do not understand and need more knowledge. And instead of just saying, okay, we're not gonna do it. There's a mindset that has to be changed for them, for the population to see the advantages for them, because we do we do provide things for them for sure.
Wonderful. Yes.
Thank you. I would like to say that our fund is already built a floating solar PV in Yerevan Lake here. So we are ready to share with you our experience, and maybe it will help you to work with your banks by showing our success story.
What is the capacity?
It's 150 kilowatt. It's just a pilot project, yes, but we also implemented study for whole Armenia, and we know the capacity, it's around 500 megawatts that could be installed without any harm to the nature. Also, we implemented environmental study by inviting specialists from France. So we can show and share all that documents with you. I guess it can be very helpful for you. Also, we work with international financial organizations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Would other participants like to add something about other projects? No? Well, thanks very much for sharing this experience. And like one of the, I don't know, the blunt assumption that I make is there is indeed a need for scaling up, like having bigger, maybe, I don't know, enterprises, businesses investing into the energy. Like, do you see any way for bringing more investment, scaling up the plants that produce energy? And I would like to ask all participants, so like for their vision and how they see it and what are the possibilities.
I believe that first of all, we have to do something, at least, let's say 150, right? For them to actually physically see that it's possible. And what basically what it does to the environment and how the social issues are being dealt with, and what are the bureaucracy, what are the documentation, and so on. So it needs to start somewhere, because let's say when you're trying to do the solar panels, if you do 3 and if you do 20, it's a matter of the money. Because for the people to accept, for the government to accept the 3, it's the same as accepting the 20, because you're just increasing, and it's a Lego type. So you just add more and more and take out if you do not need more. So in that terms, the scaling up is very easy to do if you have the investment. And investment for larger projects comes in. The Asian Development Bank, the same answer, that the 3 megawatt is not interesting to them. And anything below 10, anything 10 to 15, they are still considering that Georgia is poor. So in that terms, 10 to 15, but anything less than that, it is on your hands. It is, you have to put in your capital. You have to make sure that you have the funds to pay, and then the enterprise comes in and pays for you. But you have to be physically capable of paying firstly for them to then help you out. So in that terms, scaling up is easy. The starting part is just the crucial part, for sure.
In terms of solar, I would like to say that in Armenia, I don't see any problem. Banks are very easily provide loans because we have a good legislation here, and I don't see any issue with this. It's small project and with big project. And as I said, the government also provides subsidies for this. There is a very low interest rate in this field, and it's very good. In terms of construction, it's a matter because there I see more lack of experience, awareness raising, advocacy, and using new technologies. Here, I think there is a huge work to do still. And I hope that this project will bring that chance to teach our businesses to be more green.
would like to add one moment. We see in Moldova the European projects that are coming from the West. We're putting a lot of accent on making renewable energy. But actually, I think there is a gap because of the thing that in Europe they have the buildings are well insulated, so they don't need to conserve the energy. Here in Romania, from going to the east, we need, I think, first we need to put more accent on insulating the building and conserve the energy, because it's much easier to do it at business level, at consumer level, and after that we're parallelly making the renewable energy.
Can I add? Thank you. So I want to pay attention here also on some other points. Energy balance, this is number one which you should pay attention on, because if you will build too much renewable energy and at the end you will not have consumers who will consume this energy, it will be a problem then, yeah? And you will not have ability to pay to the loans which you will have from your bank. This is number one. So you definitely need to work with, again, as I said, with local communities in order to understand which project will suit better and what is the project will be good there, and how much capacity is good and how much is not good at all. And next one I can share with you some successful story in Ukraine, which we had basically regarding financing. I used to work in some time ago in association. It was European Ukrainian Energy Association, and we had the green tariff established, but as you correctly said, we had only international financial institutions, which were basically looking for big investments. They were looking for stability, and basically this is very important to have stability in legislation. And I organized a roundtable by involving all parties, I mean government representatives, local banks, international and financial institutions, and as well as potential developers of the renewable projects. And we were discussing like why is it important and so on, and basically we're paying more attention on international financial institutions to provide us loans, but at the end local banks came to me and said, look, it's quite interesting, but we don't have experts. We don't understand how to do it. And we did a hard work. Seriously, we used to work, I believe, for 6 or more months. And together with the bank, with the developers, in order to explain them, for example, what is the difference if to provide loan, for example, to solar projects or to wind projects or biogas projects, which aspects they need to look at. And at the end, guess what? Local banks started to provide the loans, and at that moment, a renewable market in Ukraine significantly increased. And then when international financial institutions saw that the market increased, local banks are providing the fundings, guess what? They also enter the market.
Wonderful, thank you very much. We heard the success case with the increased awareness, the adoption, and then the change of behavior from the banking system. We also heard that from our Georgian colleagues that you first probably need to start with something and then scale up. We also heard that environment in Armenia for the solar energy is quite good, and banks are also ready to finance. We heard about challenges in Moldova, but also the priority needs to first be placed on saving the energy. There is more potential for that, and then invest in renewables. So thank you very much for all those observations. And at this stage, I would also like to bring in, not least important, if not the most important issue, that indeed, as we spoke in the morning, this is the male-dominated sector. Despite the fact that is like women participation is quite low in the sector, we also know that this term energy poverty hits harder women. And I would like to invite Valentina to give us a little bit more on that topic, and then open the discussion to how can we address this and how can we include more women in the sector. But first, maybe to understand, what is it?
Yeah, thank you very much. So as you already know, I'm a president of Women's Energy Club of Ukraine. This is a platform and association for women who are working in energy sector in different positions. I mean, like in different areas, energy efficiency, renewables, journalists, lawyers, government representatives, and so on. And why I established it? So I can tell you a short story. I was going, my first education, it was electrical engineering. And when I went to the university, I don't know, the head of the university has called me and said like, why are you going here? We have only boys there. Like, I cannot imagine that you will go to the pole and switch on the lights there. Like, come on. And I said like, do you think that this is the only job that can be done there? Like, and I believe that the energy could grow and there will be some other projects. He looked at me like I'm crazy, but he said like, okay. So at the end we had, at all our groups, we had around 10 girls, yeah, who were studying electrical engineering, heating engineering, and so on. And at the end, guess how many of us are working in the sector? Just 3. Yeah. So for me, it was all the time quite interesting. Like, why is that? So we organized this association. I basically was organizing a huge conference in Ukraine, energy conference, and one of the panel was basically regarding women's equality in energy sector. How many women do we have, and so on. And we had a very good discussion. And at the end, one man said, like, I have a question. I said, sure, sure. And he said, like, come on, this is man market. Like, go home and let's cook for your husbands and so on. Talk about it. And it was the best promotion. I can tell it was the best promotion. So black PR is a good PR, you know, sometimes. And basically from the time we were starting to work together, we united all of us. I mean, we have right now project of 250 members in Ukraine, and we are cooperating right now with different partners. And thank you for invitation and for being here. As you see, even when I'm feeling that I know everything, as you saw as a mentee, don't know. So I still have to learn. And what is quite important, we did different researches, and we started basically from research in order to understand, do we really have gaps at the energy sector or not in Ukraine? We started from the universities. We understood like how many women are going in general to the universities, to the engineering professions, and how many of them are going to work, and so on. And what I can tell you, there are few issues that we have. Number one is starting with the families. Like, for example, how many of you have daughters? Can you raise a hand? Did you explain to your daughter what are you doing at your work? And is she inspired? Yes. Great. Then it's great because most of us, unfortunately, not. Yeah, we are not telling that, or like not really. Most of us people, they don't really want to tell girls to go to the engineering, to the male sector, let's say, and or explain that it's too hard. Come on, let's maybe choose something more light profession. Second one is we don't have really good examples, good success stories of women who are in the energy sector. And I used to speak in front of different pupils, students, and when I was talking with the pupils from the schools because they're choosing the profession where to go, I said, and we did also some questionnaire like, where are you going to, where are you planning to go? And they said like, whatever they said, except energy sector. I said like, why? Like, why not energy sector? They said, we don't know any woman here. We don't know like what to do there, you know? And this is quite important. It's quite important to explain. And this is one of the projects that we're planning to do. We're planning to explain to kids, like what kind of the professions we have in the energy sector, what are the successful stories we have already, and what are, let's say, the potential stories to be done there. And we're also organizing trainings for women. We're organizing capacity buildings. We're organizing annual conference. We're organizing trips. For example, last year with the support of Dana, we went to Germany to show to women different projects realized there. And so we keep cooperating. We are right now, I can tell you that we have a huge progress. Right now, gender in energy is like, I would say, number 1 or number 2 as a topic at the government level, which is quite important for us because when you're cooperating with government, you're achieving more success here. And so basically huge work done before, but huge work still should be done. We still want to involve more women into energy sector. We want for them not only be involved into some engineering engineers positions, or for example, sometimes we ask some companies to provide us statistics, like how many women are working, for example, in your company. As I said, like we have almost 50%. I said, okay, which roles? That, oh, cleaning lady, secretary, and so on. No? But this is not what we want to see. Yeah? And we want to have women not only working on the low positions, but as well on the top positions. We want them to be involved equally into the board positions, equally into the top management positions, to be represented in private companies, in state companies, at the government level. And we want to have equal opportunities for them to be involved into taking decisions, providing ideas, and be involved into everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is very inspiring. I would like to ask our private sector representatives, how would you see the change? And yeah.
I can add one thing. In my company, the back of office, the people that are selling at the phone are just women. And I can say that this is a very big plus, because usually in Moldova, men, when they're calling and they're hearing a woman, they're more attractive, more, so they're listening very, very good. And I can say that in the past, let's say 5 years, I can see that if 5 years ago, when men call, they like give me I want to talk to a male engineer because I have some questions. Now we don't say this such things, so like we're okay talking to a woman, and are very many technical points there, very many technical themes. So it's okay, it's not a problem at all. So like now I'm at the phones are just women. Yeah, I think for sure selling, yes, for sure.
Very interesting, but I would like to share our experience, our country experience. But it's for sure, women are half of our workers in our industry. In my office, it's 50% ladies. In other places, also in ministries, also I noticed that there are a lot of women involved in this field. Also in my board is a 3% out of 7 is a woman. I don't see any lack of women participating in Armenia in energy sector. If we are talking about construction sectors, I don't see any benefit involve women in building a building. But when we are talking in engineering, in management sector, for sure there is no any lack of women. And here also I would like to know your experience in Sweden, like in, I don't know, Switzerland. What is the benefit involve more women? What is the benefit of your countries? What it will bring to our country to involve women in construction sector, for example? What is the benefit of that? Why we are promoting? I will better concentrate on awareness raising of new technologies, on policymakers, of new standards, I don't know, new technologies, than attracting a woman in construction. Please share also your experience and the benefits to involve more and more women in construction.
Thank you very much. I guess we would need some statistics that I cannot bring from the top of my head about the involvement of women in the sector, but I believe we also need to give a choice to women where they want to work. So we're very good for them then. So I don't know if my colleagues have any statistics about the women participation that could be brought up here in this conversation. Otherwise, we take it up and then we come back with the more evidence-based responses to the questions.
I can say one thing also.
Very good.
Unfortunately, in Georgia, we do not have this incredible organization and association that you have, because we probably only have 5 people, 5 women throughout Georgia that you can name that actually know the energy field. And In our company, my husband can say I'm the only one. So this is really bad. And Georgia, in that terms, is at a very, very critical point, because what happens is that when you say that companies have quotas, right, and the 50% of the company is with women and who are cleaning ladies and office managers and accountants, that I do not understand, because companies are basically forced to hire women and then downgrade them to a position that they feel is okay for them, and the jobs that the company owners feel like they can carry out. What happens is that we do not think of this from the other way around. We do not empower women. This is not empowering them. Just for you to go and hire a woman because you have to, because it's trendy today to hire women and say that you have women. And I do not want to say that, but unfortunately, that does sound a little bit weird to me, to have the women, just because when men pick up the phone and the women is on the other side, they're going to pay attention more. This is also at some point downgrading, because you feel like that is the job that they can do. And yeah, I do not agree with that at all. I feel like we have to empower them. We have to teach them, first of all, because what happens is that women have to know a lot more than men in the same position in order for them to maintain the position. Because you always have this slap at the back of your head that you do not know. How come you're going to know something? You're a woman, and this is the energy, and this is the men's job. You have to know one step ahead in order for you to be able to maintain your place and know your worth. So that goes before we actually hire them. We have to empower them. I will be in awe of the company which I can see is doing that, and I will not accept the company that just hires women in order for them to have women, and to just say that they have women and they do not pay any part into empowering them. Because when we talk about women, we talk about empowering them, giving them the knowledge, because at the end of the day, we have to go back home. We have families, we have kids to take care of, and unfortunately we do not have as much time during the day as men have to just dive into the work. So what happens is that we are downgraded because we have a huge job at the same time. So in order for women, if we try to get women on the same positions, we should not be threatened by them, because we're not threatening at all. But unfortunately, the case in Georgia is really, really bad, because they're just hiring them to just hire them, and there's nothing beyond the talk. I have participated in a lot of panels. We talk, we say that we have to empower them. We don't really do anything about it. Me and my husband, we have a company. We don't really hire women because there are not a lot of specialists, because I do not want to hire someone and have them as a cleaning lady, right? That doesn't sit right. So if you do this, and if you make the step to hire them, please, please, please consider that you have to empower them. That is the only way. Other than that, it doesn't make any sense.
Thank you very much for the fresh breath of air. I am just wondering, if I had to listen to a Georgian man, how would that sound? But thank you very much for bringing the attention to the importance of empowering women, and also bringing out the issues of a lot of responsibilities in the background, and raising awareness, and probably also building skills and competencies. And yes, you can do it. Yeah, it's nothing. We are running out of the time for this session on this very, very interesting and getting hot topic. But Radu, I see that you would like to add something. So
I
please.
wanted to add one more thing. I think you didn't understand me right. That's the thing I want to say, that for me is not the difference it's a man or a woman, as it's done, as she or he is doing her job, or he is doing the job right. This is and I see that in Moldova, women are very, very they don't have problem, as you say, in Georgia. Like it's very, very okay. First of all. Second of all, I want to say that I have everybody knows that construction all around the world is one of the most corrupt industry. And I want to say that a lot of my friends in construction business are putting or are taking women and putting in very serious part of the company just because women are less corruption not taking and not giving bribe as men. So this is also, and I see this in also in the government. I see in the embassies. I see a lot of the project are putting more women there because they are not so corrupted as men. And construction is a very, very corrupted industry.
Thank you very much. Now, I guess we need to move to the next session, right, Raisa? Otherwise. So thank you very much for your contributions, opinions. It was like really, really interesting.
Wonderful. Thank you very much to all the participants. There were representatives from many different countries indeed, and that allowed to really share the experience that they have to voice concerns that really relates to everyone, every participant country in this project. So I think this was very productive because this was one good platform to really voice your thoughts so others can hear as well and be part of the agenda. So thank you for that. We are done with basically the first part of our day. I would like to thank our interpreters for their wonderful job for filling the lingual gap between people who do not speak the language but are in the same industry. I would like to thank our partners, OHM Energy, Green Tech, and the National Polytechnic University of Armenia for bringing their products today to support the design of our event and showcasing the energy efficient and renewable energy solutions in all their beauty. I have something fun for you. You might remember this from the beginning. During registration, you were putting the pieces of stone together to build a house, and this is what you have done with joint effort. This is something built by everybody, and this is another wonderful symbolism. And we really hope that with all the endeavors and all the efforts that we make, similar houses and all the participating countries will be built with more renewable energy resources and will be more energy efficient. So this is one way to demonstrate. I invite you all now outside in the hall to participate in the reception we have prepared for you. We'll now move on to the break, and we'll meet you at 2 o'clock.
Maybe at all. Like we have second part of the event, which is with the partners with whom we work now. So it's just for them. But now we invite you for the networking and reception there for networking. I would like to meet everyone